Hey everyone, welcome to Mystifying Miracles. Glad you're here. Our story today involves a Marine. Several miracles that occurred in his life. I'm going to get into them. Stay tuned. Connie McClellan, her son, John McClellan, he joined the Marines right out of high school in 2004. And as soon as he did, Connie knew straight what to do. She wanted him safe. So what she did is she started up an email prayer chain and sent it out to everybody she knew. John served as a machine gunner in 2005 in Afghanistan. And unfortunately, he ends up being shot twice in the same arm in the same week. Thankfully, though, they did end up being minor injuries. The first bullet was an AK-47, and it actually ricocheted off his Humvee and then got embedded in his wrist. Then, in that same week, he ends up getting a second Purple Heart for, once again, being shot in the arm, same arm, with the same type of bullet, and this one went straight through right shoulder. But in 2 weeks' time, he was back, right out there in the field, same position. October 27th, 2005, there was actually a publication called Stars and Stripes that did a piece on him, talking about how he was shot twice in the same week and that he survived, earning himself 2 Purple Hearts. Connie, his mother, attributed all this to the prayer chain she started. She had those prayers going, and she truly believes that God answered her and all those people's prayers. Well, on September 11th, 2006, John was then sent to Haditha, Iraq. And while on patrol, he now gets shot in the head by a sniper. It went through the front part of his left ear and then exited out the lower left side of his head. Connie and her husband, they get the terrible call of what occurred, and of course, they're in a panic. John went to the hospital in Balad, Iraq. He went there and had to have a 5-hour surgery. The family was informed that, look, we're sorry, he's not going to survive. Kind of like all the other stories that we've gone through, same scenario. Doctors informed the family that, look, this is looking bad. And if he survives, probably a vegetable. So Connie immediately sends out a prayer chain again to about 80 more people. And guess what happened? Not even 24 hours later, doctors changed the prognosis. John had, in that 24 hours, done a 180, and he now, according to the doctors, was supposed to make a full recovery. Well, on September 28th, John was flown to a military hospital in Maryland, and there he saw a neurosurgeon that reevaluated him and everything, and he ends up telling him that, look, 99 out of 100 people with this same injury or very, very similar, they don't survive. So he was that one that did. In fact, the bullet, it missed his carotid artery, and it missed it by, it said, the thickness of 2 sheets of paper. Needless to say, John was in the ICU for a week. Then he was moved to a normal surgery floor, and it was there he stayed until October 25th. John then went on to James A. Haley Veterans Hospital, and that was located in Tampa, Florida. It was 3.5 grueling weeks of physical and occupational therapy. And he also had speech therapy as well. Now, because his facial nerve, it was actually severed. So due to this severed nerve, John's left side of his face, it sagged. And doctors said, look, that prognosis, that's not good either. Obviously, it's been severed, so that's just going to probably sag the rest of his life. On November 21st, 2006, though, John finally got to go back home to his hometown of Columbus, Missouri. And guess what? Within 4 months, the face was totally restored. No more severed nerve. Connie stresses that the miracles that occurred during this time for John, they were plentiful. There wasn't just 1, 2, or even 3. They were abundant. Each miracle that did occur, it was at some point a very major concern. And then what Connie did is she take that major concern, bring it before the Lord, send out the prayer chain, and get everybody praying for that particular concern. And then one by one, as these things arose, she said God handled it. She lists out all the miracles. And I mean, we're talking like, there was like 2 pages in the book. So I'm not going to read them all. I'm going to read some of the main ones. It just wowed me. So number 1, the obvious, John lived. Miracle number 1. Number 2, doctor said he'd be a vegetable if he did live. Well, he's not a vegetable. Number 3, despite being shot in the ear and then the head and all that, he can see and hear. That's a miracle. Number 4, he can talk. Doctors said at some point there was a major concern he probably wouldn't have speech, but he does. Number 5, he has no headaches or like residual pain. That's all gone. Number 6, he can walk. Doctors said he wouldn't walk. Number 7, he is not mentally impaired after being shot in the head. That's a biggie. And number 8, doctors said he'd never be the same. No personality, not the John you knew. But guess what? John's got his same personality that he's always had. So as I said, they're plentiful and it just leaves you in awe. Connie says that John did have a few problems with short-term memory loss, and he is deaf in his left ear. Now, at the time of the writing of this book, she said that he had made great progress in terms of the short-term memory loss. And in October of 2009, John ran a marathon in D.C. Like, he participated in the Marine Corps Marathon and did the whole thing. Connie also stresses the importance of prayer. She says, word for word, it is critical. Throughout all the difficult trials, it was brought before God, prayed over, and it just, like she said, one by one, it was taken care of, and the miracles began. Connie wrote a book about these miracles and about John's life and what occurred over there. And the book is called My Miracle Marine by Connie McClellan. I'll put that in the link in the description if anybody's interested in that. Other than that, guys, another amazing story. I hope it blessed you. I hope it touched you. And I hope that you're all having an incredible week. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.